Hello, dear friends. This is Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with one more immortal messages. And we are here in this very scenario that you see. You're seeing behind me a background, right? And in this background, we have what the meetings of the message that are coming to you were about. Immortal Messages is a therapeutic conversation here at Cardiac Radio, based on the book Psychophonic Instructions. I love this book because it's a book that talks about so many things that we kind of know, but either we need to be reminded or we need to know in a different way. So, we would like to share with you that today, the message that came in this type of meeting, as you see on the background, Chico Xavier and the several people around, the spirits, May, as you can see here, this is a mediumistic meeting, and after the rescue work of the suffering spirits, at the end of the meeting, messages that are illuminated came to life. Okay? All right. So welcome. I want to ask you how you're feeling, first and foremost, because humanly speaking, this coronavirus is hard on us as humanity. We want to talk a little bit with you and hear from you, how you're feeling, how you're doing this during this time. We are trying to brave it, and we're working hard, all of us. But there are times in which we need to catch our breath. I confess to you that it's no different for us here, trying to keep up with everything and the changes of times. But we want to hear from you also and acknowledge, validate your feelings. If you're feeling exhausted, tired, if you're feeling awkward or frustrated, whatever feeling, it's normal because it's an unexpected situation that we've never been before. Probably this generation is going to be better off if they have to go through this another time, hopefully not. But right now, just telling ourselves that it's okay to feel whatever we're feeling and that it shall pass. As Mentor Joseph says, calm and resignation like in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Breathing in and out and feeling that it's okay, right, friends? If you're typing in the messages, I'm going to be able to respond to you as soon as possible. But rest assured, you're being listened, we're watching you, we are praying for one another, and let's stay strong in the good, always in the good. The message today has everything to do with it. In this world, July 1st, 1954, a spirit named Dalva de Assis, a dedicated spiritual director of the group, came with a charming and simple word to let us know about the subterfuges that the forces of darkness use to embarrass our pathway. I'm reading here from the translation, and it says to us how hard it is. In the attainment of spiritual improvement, awakening us at the same time to the Christian pathway, so that we do not lack the compass of goodness and faith, with which we will find the gate of light and truth. You want to see the voices? You know, I know, because we hear them almost often, right? But Mrs. Dalva de Assis is going to tell us how it goes by. He who follows me does not walk in darkness, said the promise, the eternal friend to us. Who is our eternal friend? Jesus, of course. Then, if you advance in the company of the Master under the haze of the world, you will often be questioned by the shadows through those who come by your pathway. In the middle of the road, they will tell you to rebel. They're going to say, forgiveness, it's cowardice. Hatred feeds you. It burns up the path. Oppress and pass, instigating us to feeling these negative emotions. Isn't that true? How many people in this world listen to these voices and buy into that easily? It will say, these voices will tell you through ambitions. Do not cogitate the means to reach the ends. Giving is foolish. Personal interest above everything else. It's better to have a cent on earth than a treasure in heaven. Mamma mia, how many people believe in this, in these stories that the spirits tell? Do you? They come and they say, Kardec in the Spirit's book, chapter 9 of the second part of the Spirit's book, he asked, why do these spirits incite us to do these evil things? And the answer, because they are not happy, they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want me to be happy. They don't want any of us. Jealousy, spite, that exists on earth. So we have to be careful. Mrs. Dalva de Assis says, they will come to your ears through the mouths of addictions and say, focus on the flesh. Come on, eat, indulge, drink, enjoy the day, get drunk and forget. Nowadays with the coronavirus, how many people are feeling this way? How many people are feeling like, let's indulge, let's drink a little more, enjoy, and then they do it, they don't feel good, or eat a lot, don't feel good either. Now it's time, we can't afford getting sick at this time. On the contrary, not only we should isolate ourselves, but stay healthy, because we cannot overload the doctors now, because they need extra time and extra hands to help those who are in greater need than ourselves. It's social responsibility. These spirits don't have enough. Mrs. Dalva de Assis keeps instructing us. She's teaching us a lesson on how the forces of darkness come to us and imprison us, anchor us. So they are going to incite our greediness. Do not disdain the full bag of money. Service is the privilege of ignorance. Rightfully stolen crumbs deserved wealth. Help yourself before others forsake you. How many people I know? They are afraid that if they give of themselves to others, they're going to lack what they need. But I'm going to help others. I'm going to give it to others. What about me? Nobody thinks of me. Are you like this? Let us think about that. Good question. She's telling us clear cut about the strategies of ignorance, of the shadows in our lives. You and I are being asked to be more mindful of it, more fully aware of the beauty of being vigilant. That's why Jesus said, watch and pray. Pray doesn't suffice. We have to watch the voices that come to us. They say, oh, you're giving too much of yourself to others. The pessimistic forces are going to come and say, come on, this is too much. Why do you care about destiny? It's not worthwhile. Everything's an illusion. There are spirits who even incite us to not believe in God, to not believe in the good, especially at the times of the pandemic like we're living. Oh, really? If God is all love, where is God now? Why isn't God helping? Well, as Emmanuel says in the book Thought and Life, chapter 3, heavens need cooperation on earth. We're not puppets of God. That's the answer. God is helping us, giving the abundance of life. But what are we doing? Co-creating with disharmony? Co-creating in hatred, in distress, in selfishness? Then other types of spirits who like to incite ego, pride, they say, do not ever humble yourself. The world is yours. Remember, nothing but yourself. It's for you to conquer and dominate. And we see clearly daily leaders in this world who believe in those voices. But deep inside, they are so scared, so afraid that people will be bigger than them. Nobody's bigger than us because we're equal. A position doesn't make us bigger than anything. The applause of the world doesn't make us bigger than anybody else. So for you and I, we're being asked this question. Sometimes it's in a family, that pride. The other day I was seeing something so funny about a man talking about the differences between men and women. And he was saying about the dispute in pride at home, the competitions. I do it, you do it, but I say the last word, you say the last word. These spirits love to incite that. The trifles, the competitions amongst relatives, family members, because they are not mindful that they are not alone. There are spirits who just entertain themselves by causing chaos in our lives. In your sanctuary of work, it will be said through spirits who want you to look superior than others. Do not complain. Obey and shut up. And they incite us to tell people to just surrender to us because we feel superior to others. And there are people who are like this. But they are not alone. We're never alone. Pause for a moment before we continue. Allan Kardec once asked what kinds of spirits are in our lives as witnesses of our daily lives. And they say 4 types. Type number 1. This type number 1 is the protecting spirits. They are always superior to us. Type number 2, which is familiar spirits. Spirits who have lived lives with us, this life, previous lives, they like us, they are with us. But not necessarily they are more evolved than us. Sometimes they are just at our level. And that's a problem in a way, because sometimes they're even inferior to us, but they like us. And that's a problem, because sometimes they like us, but they don't like our partners or a relative of ours, and they create conflicts. They intertwine in our lives. They are mingling in our lives and creating either solutions or problems for us. The third type is sympathetic spirits. Spirits who like what we like. So if you like reading, they like reading. If you like spiritism, they like spiritism. Sometimes they are more evolved than us. Sometimes they are less evolved than us. And they also interfere with our daily lives. Fourth type, which is the so-called obsessors. We only think of them, right? We never think about anybody else. Only the obsessors, but they are not the only ones. We have so many different types, and everyone mingles with us. In this message, Dalva de Assis is reporting to us the importance of being fully aware, and she's being very thorough about the thoughts of these spirits in our lives, how they talk to us, whispering in our ears. If we fall for it, now we are co-responsible for it. She says, some of them will come and they like trouble. They're troublemakers. They like fights, wows. So they come with this voice saying to you, no, do not surrender. Do not compromise. No, 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 no. Do not accept what they're saying, and even cursing, even avenging words. Wow. So you want to help people and talk to people, but these spirits are like, no, 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 no. They want you to continue being apart, not reconciling, not being friends, etc., etc. So here we have another type of spirit. The spirit that is accusatory. So he incites you to feel like, don't bother me. I'm tired of you. It's all your fault, which is so common. We have to be very careful. These type of spirits are always around. And sometimes they incite you to say to your most beloved ones critical words, criticism. You're ashamed. You're weak. Why did you do this to us? But the inner soul, you will hear in your inner soul, you will hear the word of the Lord in your heart. What is Jesus going to tell us? What are the good spirits going to repeat to us? Now, mark it down, okay? Pen, oops, not invisible pen, pen and paper, and write it down. Shine your light. And you're like, what? Me? Who, me? Yes, you. Love unconditionally. Unconditionally. But I just heard that. Am I going crazy? No. You see the voices that are different? You may be asking, right? How can I distinguish? You need to know yourself. The more you know yourself, the more you know the voices that are speaking to you. You can tell who you are from who the spirit guide is and inferior spirits. You can tell. And you can tell about when you are not being good enough, but it comes from you, not a spirit that is inferior to you. So shine your light, write it down. Love unconditionally, write it down. Serve everyone, write it down. Protect indistinctly. Do not despair, especially now. Do not despair. Oh my gosh, but what's going to happen? Do not despair. Do not despair. Do not despair. If we could just record it and listen every time. Do not despair. Do not despair. Be of good mood. Yes. Cheer up. Pray for your enemies. Help those who slander you. Forgive 70 times 7, which means always. Whoever asks you for their tunic, also offer the cape. For those who ask you for a journey of 1,000 steps, walk 2,000 steps. Renunciation is a conquest, which means it doesn't come easy. We have to practice. People think renunciation is about renouncing a love of your life. It's about renouncing money, position. No, it's about everyday renunciation. It's when we renounce our ego. When the voices come and tell us, who are you? You're nobody. Whatever you do, nobody cares. And I'm going to say, okay, like a worm, I'm going to keep digging the holes in the soil because that's what I have to do. You're not a worm. But if you have to do your good, do it because that's your role. Your role. You have to do your role. Like the worm, as Chico Xavier used to say. I'm like a speck. But what a speck, huh? That shines today, 66 years later, shining brightly in our lives, giving us these nourishments. I can feel we're going through a tough test on earth. But let us together stay strong. Let us together stay strong and never give up. And pain is a blessing, but I don't want to suffer. It's a blessing because it makes us think about God, make us value life much more. Sacrifice is glory. What? Can you tell people what your sacrifice like? You're crazy. No, you're not crazy. You're right. Remember Quintus Varus? He was right. To work is to overcome yourself. And fight is the bread of life, in the struggle of life. It's how it is. If you ask for life to be a breeze, you're not on earth. We can't. It's an illusion. If you dream of an easy life, you'll be reborn yet again 1,000,000 times until you understand that earth is a school. And in school, if we enjoy it, is a breeze. It becomes a breeze. But it's a labor-intensive breeze. It feels good, but it's labor-intensive. The cross is triumph, and death is resurrection. If you know how to listen to the celestial counselor, you will learn how to serve and serve loving. And recognizing your condition of simple traveler in the world, you will use the compass of goodness and faith every day. In the divine silence, nourishing the certainty that you will bring tomorrow under the inspiration of Jesus on the great beach of truth, where you finally find your eternal victory. Today, you and I are given a beautiful exercise to practice this discrimination, the distinction between the voices of evil and the voices of the good. The voices of evil will always push us to easiness, to ego, to unforgiveness, to less work, to self-indulgence and discord. And it's very subtle sometimes. It's like, no, you're right, don't do. And then the other voice is always pushing us. Love more, serve more, work more, forgive more, sacrifice more. And we're like, really, really, really. But you know that at the end of the day, which voice will be approved by you. If you follow through the one that is more labor intensive, the narrow gate will be happier. On the other hand, the other voice is going to be just terrible. A minute of illusion and centuries of distress. In the next 24 hours, you and I are invited to do what? To practice observing these voices and see what you're gonna do. Okay? Practice, observe, and think. They are real. They either incite you to shine your light or to turn it off. In the illusion that when you turn it off, you're gonna rest, but you'll be in darkness. You don't want it. That's why you're here at Cardiac Radio, because you don't want it. So let us shine our light, and our prayer is gonna be the song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. This little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. This little light of yours, you're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. This is our nourishment here at Cardiac Radio, every night, every day, for you and with you. A big hug to you, friends, and until tomorrow, God willing.